Take a romantic comedy by Shakespeare and instead of in the Bard's world, set it here in Chattanooga. Next, gather a cast of 10 actors playing more than 20 roles. That's the formula for Twelfth Night, opening Friday at Chattanooga Theatre Centre for ages 10 and older. Dylan Kussman is the director, and Kim Jackson plays 2 of the roles. Kim, Dylan, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Tell us more about Twelfth Night at CTC.
I was approached by the artistic director, Rodney Van Valkenburg, last year about directing a production of Twelfth Night in the Circle Theatre at the Theatre Centre, and I was very excited to be able to say yes and to bring sort of a fresh contemporary take to the material. We decided that we were going to set it in present-day Chattanooga and use a lot of the design elements of downtown Chattanooga as part of the set design and costume design. And we also decided to have all of the characters in the play played by 10 actors, which meant that pretty much every actor in the play is doubled up in 2 different roles. That made for just a really exciting prospect, and it's coming together. We're so excited to see where we arrive as an acting troupe on opening night, Friday, June 6th.
And Kim, tell us more about how you're doubling up in this production.
I am doubling up as the Countess Olivia, and also someone who works for Orsino. So in our production, Orsino, Duke Orsino, is the mayor of Chattanooga. That's how we are presenting him. And so my other character works for him in his office. So my larger role, with more stage time and more lines, is Olivia, and the smaller role is Curio. And it has been so much fun because Orsino is in love with Olivia. So to be able to play this other very smaller role who actually serves him in his office is super fun. And spoiler alert, Billy Pate, who plays Orsino, is playing Olivia's waiting woman. So as actors, it's kind of super fun for us to know that and kind of wonder how many audience members figure that out and have a little chuckle. There's lots of things like that within this production that the audience should be on the lookout for. It's super fun.
Talk more about how each of you have handled Shakespeare in the past, either on stage or producing behind the scenes, and how that experience has flowed into this production.
So I'm going to let Dylan take this, but I have to say it's exciting for me to be creating this with him right now for a lot of reasons, not the least of which is his most recent experience as an actor with Shakespeare. So I'm excited for him to share that with you guys.
You're being too modest, and you have lots of
I'll talk about myself. I promise. I will.
Okay. I've been doing Shakespeare since I was a college student at UC Berkeley. I played Henry V in the basement of a pizza parlor. I played Romeo in the San Francisco Shakespeare Festival of 1991. I did a year at the Oregon Shakespeare Festival in Ashland, Oregon, where I was in Macbeth and Richard II. And it's been a part of my acting life for a long time. And as Kim mentioned, I've recently returned to America from a French tour of Julius Caesar with the National Theatre of Brittany in France. We played 3 different cities in France where I played Julius Caesar. And it was quite something performing an all-American production of Julius Caesar in front of French-speaking audiences. There was something very charged in the atmosphere about the theater experience with all these people watching the depiction of the assassination, the bloody assassination of a would-be tyrant on the stages of France. And it just reminded me of how relevant these plays still are 400 years later. And every time I dive into one and every time I explore one with actors, and that's the only way to really explore a Shakespeare play, the writing is meant to be said aloud and listened to. It's not meant to be read on the page. And whenever I get the opportunity, the very rare and precious opportunity to work on this kind of text with actors, I learn more about the plays, and I feel more and more that this play, and in particular Twelfth Night, has so much to say to us right now about love, about madness, about what people will do to get what they want, about sacrifice, about loss, about discovery. So I'm just a big fan I'm a big fan of Shakespeare's, I guess you'd have to say, and I feel so lucky to be directing one. This is my first Shakespeare play that I've ever directed. I've acted in a lot, but this is my first directorial effort with Shakespeare. So I'm very grateful to the Theatre Centre, to Rodney, and to Kim, who's a member of the board there. You're still a member of the board, aren't you?
I am, yes.
So anyway, I'm just very grateful for the opportunity. It's been such a kick. It's a real hootenanny. It's a real blowout. It's fun, isn't it?
It is so much fun. So I think you can tell why I'm so excited to be working on this particular production, because this might be his first time directing Shakespeare, but Dylan just brings this depth and wealth of knowledge and like boots on the ground experience with Shakespearean text that makes it super exciting as an actor to be able to collaborate with him. So I go way back with the Bard as well. I think we've talked about this before, Ray, that as a young pup, when I kind of realized, oh, I'm an actor. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I love doing the best. I just had it in my head that if I could study classical theater, if I could figure out how to do Shakespeare, if I could perform Juliet for a modern audience and have them really understand that timeless story, then I could do a Crest commercial or whatever it was that came my way as an actor, right? So I just kind of had that in my head. And then I had the privilege of studying classical theater in a really cool program at Kennesaw State University. And as a college student, I got to play Juliet. So that was exciting. And that led to an invitation to be a part of the Atlanta Shakespeare Company at the Shakespeare Tavern in Atlanta. And I worked with them for a couple seasons. And then throughout my professional life, I just kept going back to classical theater and to the stage, no matter what else I was doing. And so Shakespeare has just always been really, really special to me. And since landing in Chattanooga, I've always thought the Theater Center should be doing Shakespeare all the time. And so it's just super exciting to me that Twelfth Night is about to open, and that if you've seen the season announcement for next season, which opens in September, for the 102nd season of the Chattanooga Theatre Center, we're once again doing Shakespeare with Shakespeare's Much Ado About Nothing. So Shakespeare has a special place in my heart. And this show in particular, this is the second time I've been able to be a part of Twelfth Night. And I'll go ahead and share that, over a decade ago, Dylan and I shared the stage in a production of Twelfth Night, which was actually at the Theater Center, a different company, which is not in production anymore. It was called Shakespeare Chattanooga, did a production of Twelfth Night, and he and I got to share the stage together. So we've shared the stage as actors in Shakespeare, and he has actually directed me on camera before, but this is the first time he and I have gotten to explore this kind of relationship with him directing me on stage, and it's fantastic. I would do it again and again and again.
And for people who want to check it out, they can go online to theatercenter.com, theater, R-E, center, R-E.com. Dylan, Kim, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.